I'll tell you what, Lane Kiffin's coming after Kirby Smart. Let's take a look at the video.
Off the wall question: you and Kirby, two most probably some of the more demonstrative coaches on the field. Who do you think burns more calories in a game, you or him?
I don't know. That's a good question. I walked by the TV and saw his press conference today, so it don't look like he's burned too many calories.
Ryan, he's out here talking about burning calories, and he's saying Kirby's. I mean, that's pretty rough, man. That's yeah, we're talking about that here on Dog Post. That's pretty frontal assault from Lane heading into this weekend's matchup with the Dogs.
I mean, I think that they're kind of friends, man. I think that that's more friendly banter between a couple of guys who used to be on the same coaching staff and have been in these circles for a while. But I think that we know that Lane and Kirby are very different people, and that's not usually the type of banter you're going to get from Kirby ahead of a game. But I don't really think that's really surprising coming from Lane Kiffin. I think it's pretty funny.
Well, he's exactly right too. I'm not saying he's wrong, but everyone's got to hit the treadmill a little, now and then. And Kirby Smart's absolutely one of those guys. But I do think that this shows how kind of close they are. These guys have known each other for a long time. They know each other's, schemes and what they want to do. And it's another matchup of Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann's defense against Lane Kiffin's, offensive mind. And Lane knows what he's doing, and so it'll be another fun matchup. And these teams have played a good bit now. This is year three, and they're going to play again next year too. So there is some familiarity between these two programs, and especially with these two coaches. But it's fun. This is a top 10 matchup, and these coaches are trying to keep it easy, but they know that there's a lot at stake in this game. But I think Lane's just being Lane. He's not changing, and he's a great offensive mind, but he's also good for the game. So I love kind of the banter that we're seeing out of these two right now.
The one thing, I know someone who's worked pretty closely with Lane in the past, and they just have their view of him as how outstanding he is as an offensive coordinator. I would say he's one of the premier shit talkers in college football. I do think that we heard this a lot when he was playing Nick Saban, and he never beat Nick. I don't know if he's whistling past the graveyard here, or he just wanted to jam Kirby one time. I'm going to be at Red Zone on Friday from 4 to 5. From 4 to 5. Make sure you're going to be there. I'm going to let y'all know when I'm going to be there for the Texas game soon, but I'm going to be there this Friday from 4 to 5. Make sure you're coming in. Ryan, we tease each other about weight all the time. This trio, although there's less to tease about than there once was, but we all had our stages. No one's seen your stage, unfortunately. I can throw it on the screen though. I can go back and look. You want me to do that?
Yeah, you don't have any of the real stuff though.
Oh, I don't know. I got a
You haven't
picture.
seen
I got a
it.
picture. I got a picture of you by the dome. That was pretty rough.
Oh, you have that? Yeah. That was when it was pretty bad. That was when it was I didn't have a jaw at that time. Um yeah, no, I mean I don't think that Kirby probably saw that maybe a little bit and got upset, but I think that he knows that Lane is just like that. But you got to be able to tease each other to an extent. I think people people get caught off guard by it when it's on a big national level and it's basically celebrities making fun of each other or quasi celebrities, whatever you want to call them. They're really well known people. I don't know that I don't know that Kirby is losing any sleep or calories over that comment though.
Yeah, it's good for the game. I kind of wish Steve Spurrier coached until the very end, but you need some characters like this, and Lane is certainly one of them. And Kirby can be a character too. He's dancing on the tables after wins. That's not the first time he's done that. Of course, Dean, you've seen him celebrate after a lot of big time wins, but they get after it and they get after each other. But at the end of the day, they know there's a big game on Saturday, and I think both will be ready for it. But Lane's having fun, and as he should. He's got the Ole Miss Rebels ranked in the top 10, top five. I mean, these are the good old days right now for Ole Miss, even though they haven't really won anything of significance. I think if they go and play Georgia even really hard, they don't have to win this game, and they can still be in the playoff with a tough loss in Athens. And I think Georgia's the team where they're kind of backed up against the wall a little bit more with that one loss, and that's one advantage I think Georgia has in this game. But classic Lane, I think it's great, and we'll see if there's any chit chat, between the two before the game. I know there will be, but we'll see to a certain extent how many laughs are made at midfield during warm-ups.
Matt was talking about chit chat, and that's kind of like the hardest part for you if you're in a business is starting to get to know somebody. Sales Hatch is going to handle the hard part for you. They're going to get the job done to where you're in there explaining and showing other businesses and people who can benefit from your business. They're going to show you, excuse me, they're going to open the door for you to show those businesses what you can do. It is not an easy thing what they're doing for you. It's a locally based, when I say locally, particularly local to Matt, it's in Roswell, okay? And they're getting the job done, knocking down the doors for you, or knocking on the doors to open them for you, to talk with people that are decision makers in their company. Make sure you're using Sales Hatch. I mean, they're a proud partner with us. We're proud to be partnering with them for this season. And I know this from personal experience. It's not easy to do what they do. The cold calls, the emails, the connections. They're going to handle that for you. Ryan, how is Georgia going to handle dealing with this, passing attack from the Rebels? Because there's a lot of things that Mississippi could do better. I think they really are pretty effective throwing the ball, and that's something Georgia has been sort of okay at. I think defending. Tennessee, that was not a good day. Ever since then, it's been okay, but I think Mississippi does a pretty good job with that.
They do. They do a good job with that. I would be concerned about Trinidad Chambliss being able to run the ball as well. Typically struggle with quarterbacks that can run, whether it's in the scramble drill and contain is broken and things happen, or design run like you saw in the first half against Auburn last week, where Jackson Arnold and all the window dressing pre-snap, all of that was really affecting that Georgia defense early on. They adjust to it. Kind of the same sentiment up in Knoxville. They adjusted and defended the pass a little bit better in the second half. Part of that is Georgia controlled the clock in the second half of that game up in Tennessee as well. But Tennessee has some legit receivers and that scheme where they're launching it downfield. I don't know you're going to quite see the exact same thing out of Ole Miss. But Georgia's defense has shown susceptibilities all season. In the first half against Alabama, they allowed Alabama to just kind of walk the ball up and down the field by throwing it through the air. So you're kind of getting a mixed bag with Georgia's defense as to, hey, are they going to be able to shut this down, or are they going to just keep letting it happen? But that first second half trend, I know we're going to talk about that a little bit more, I think, on another video, but we're getting good and bad Georgia defense. It hasn't been consistent.
Hey, Matt, let me throw it to you like this. And Ryan, you can kick in too if you want. This is Georgia's 7th game. This is the 3rd time this season they're facing a top 14 passing offense.
Yeah, this is nothing new to them. They've faced good quarterbacks before. I think a big part of this game is going to be winning on 1st and 2nd down, make him play quarterback in that environment. And
they're really good at converting 3rd downs, Mississippi, by the way.
Yeah, got to win on 1st and 2nd down, make things uncomfortable. There's a really good offense, especially if they can get in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, and shorter. They can use his legs in an effective way, but that crowd needs to make an impact, and any chance or any play where they can go backwards could be a possible drive killer. But it also, stops the tempo. If they get an early 1st down or 2, they want to play fast and keep going. And Kirby talked about earlier this week. So if you can keep them from not going, playing fast and tempo, winning on 1st and 2nd down, it's easier to scramble and pick up 3 or 4 yards than it is 8 or 9, right? So I think winning on those early downs, stopping the run, that's going to make things difficult for a quarterback that I know Ryan's talked a lot about, can really run and can hurt defenses that way. You got to contain him. If he gets outside of the pocket, he can be dangerous. But at the end of the day, if you're Georgia, you want him to try and make tough throws down the field. And the way to do that is to get him in those 3rd and medium, 3rd and longs, try to get after him a little bit and make things uncomfortable. This is his first real road test. He didn't play against Kentucky. So I think that goes into this as well. They need to make things really challenging for him. And if they can, I think they'll be successful on defense.
Well, Kirby challenged the fans too. right? On Monday, he said he wanted it to be the best environment in Athens of all time. I think that's a pretty big ask. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I
That will
do
not
expect
happen.
the crowd to be into it and needs to be into it in a season like this when every game feels like could be one that Georgia slips up in. And they've already slipped up at home. I think going back to the original point with Dean, and then like you said, Matt, they're used to this, right? They've got to deal with top level offenses and top level defenses all the time, being in the SEC and playing in these big games. It's just what it is. There's really no other way around that.
Yeah, you're not playing anybody, bad in this league. It's just levels of, really good to good. Even Kentucky pushed. I mean, that's their only road game this season. Ole Miss was the Kentucky game, and they didn't. I mean, they played okay. It wasn't great. Now they got to go on the road for the second time this season. This time against a top 10 Georgia team. We'll see what happens on Saturday. Join us for Riding Home After the Fact. We'll see you on the next video.